Stevenson Sylvester, Utah Color Analyst, former Ute, joins us. Hey, man, how you been?
What's going on, my brother? How are you?
We're doing well. How has the fan base handled such a frustrating and annoying season there?
How have we handled it? It's been extremely frustrating, right? Like, I always related to, it's like you're a parent and you know your kid can do so much more and they're just not doing it. It's like they're refusing to do it almost. And so it's been frustrating on that because, we talked all offseason about the potential of Utah, right? And what they could be or what they should be doing, and the fact that they're not doing it. And, us Uncle Ricos, like me, I got all the answers. I know all you have to do is this. You just do this and it'll work. So internally, there's just things going on that I hope that Utah grabs a hold of, especially during this rivalry week is going to be awesome. But it's been a disappointing season for fans. I know it's been for the players. And when it's like this and it's week after week after week, it's kind of hard. Like, can I catch it? Can I grab a hold of this issue and fix it? So that's kind of where Utah's at.
What is the ideal thing you'd like to see happen at quarterback for the rest of this season? And what do you think the legitimate future plan has to be at that position? Because that has derailed the Utes the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, from my time in the NFL and my time at Utah, I just know that experience breeds the best professionals, right? If you get experience, you just know what you're doing, you get more confident, and you're able to do things a lot better. So for me, it's Isaac Wilson. If he's your quarterback of the future, whether the rest of this season is ugly, it's already ugly. Scary October happened. 4 straight losses in the month of October is gut-wrenching, right? And so that's it. But what is important is the future. And Isaac Wilson clearly needs reps. Right now there's tumultuous things happening as far as your offensive coordinator leaving in the middle of the season, all kinds of things moving. But one thing that you can do is you can get experience. So against these big game matchups, I want the future for Isaac Wilson for him to be comfortable in any matchup, right? You're going against a top 10 football team and the guys down south. And so you know how to handle that in the future when you go against a big team, time opponent. I don't want, experiences to be fresh last year. When you watch Utah, you hear these color analysts, you hear all these people, all they say is, oh, he's a freshman. All this and that, he's a freshman, you got to give him a break, yada, yada, yada. I'm tired of that excuse, right? We all put our pads on, we all study for this play. You're 18 years old or 25 years old, whatever it may be, you're out there, you better make a play. Don't let your age be an excuse forever. And so for me, I would give the reins to Isaac Wilson, enhance his confidence, teammates, coaching staff alike, just support him in every way you can, simplify the offense, make it a little easier for him so he can see what he can see and get that done. But I want to see Isaac Wilson more confident because I know he can do it.
Stevenson, after I believe it was the TCU game, is when Andy Ludwig, they made the changes, right? He stepped away. But then it was like a week later, another loss, and Micah Bernard's there in the post game, and he's talking about how they know what the problems are, but he's not going to say anything. Maybe you can't say anything, I don't know, but it just was very cryptic. Is there how did you take that, and how should everybody else take that? Is there problems in the what was that whole scenario from your standpoint?
For me, I know everybody's been asking me this week about it, right? What did he mean? And as a former player, I have no idea what he means, right? Because I know there's a bunch of different issues, right? So which one are you talking about, right? And so them internally, they know more than I would know. They know more than anybody else would know. We can only speculate. We're only privy to the information that people give us. So if he doesn't give us whatever. Basically, for me, when he said that, I really didn't care because I'm just like, look, it don't matter what issues are ahead. You're out there on the football field. Me, old guy, I know that football chances, football plays, the opportunities to play this football game is limited. So that's the only excuse I need to go out there every day. So you got to give your all. So whatever it is, the biggest team sport in all of sports, make it happen. Get together and be like, yo, pull your head out. Let's make this happen. So I didn't really put too much on it because that's Utah's problem these last couple of years, right? Cryptic messages. Who's playing, who's not playing, who's warming up in the warm-ups and then not playing. It's that whole bit is what's, I believe, been Utah's focus when it shouldn't be. So that's not the main thing that they should be paying attention to. That's been my issue with how we've handled situations there. So for me, when in there I get this cryptic message from the coaching staff, the players, whatever, I don't care. Look, you suit up on Saturday, go out there and hit somebody.
Stevenson Sylvester with us, former Utah football player, part of the Utah radio broadcast, as Utah and BYU. So do you have what kind of emotions for BYU?
First of all, you can keep giving them a name. They don't deserve a name this week, right?
Like that.
They are the nameless gray faces down south, right? That's how Mike Tomlin referenced our rivals in the Baltimore Ravens, and that's how we reference those guys down south. They're the team down south this week. They don't get a name. Don't put a name on there. Don't put them up there. Hey, I'm still juiced as if I was still playing. I wish I had a helmet. You're going to see me on the sidelines on Saturday just itching on the sideline to go hit somebody. I'll probably be talking smack as if I did have pads on. So all I know is nobody better come near me because I'm going to throw some bows just like in the old days. So I'm juiced, man. This game means everything. I know you guys don't live in this community, but it's red versus blue ever since I got here in 2006. And so especially this is house divided. This is what sports is all about. You know, you name some of the biggest rivalries. This is a named rivalry. It's called the Holy War, right? Like, you know, you got Red River rivalry, you got the Iron Bowl, you got all this is a named rivalry. So this is huge, especially here in the whole state of Utah, man. So I can't wait for it. I'm juiced. I know I got tons of coaching staff that coached me is on the staff at the guys down south. And so I know them. I'm happy for them, but not when they play us. And they know that, and so I'm good. As long as you know that I'm going to keep it 100. As soon as we play, it's on. But I wish for you guys success outside of the game, outside of the Holy War. But for me, I got no love over there when we play this football game.
Can you give us the most intense moment or yeah, and I know that the rivalry's been on and off a little bit, but you don't like them. You know, you respect them, but you don't like them. Is there an intense moment you remember the most playing them?
I remember in all of them. And really, I can be honest. Every single time I can pick out a moment every single year, and I can't put one above the other. Right? In 2006, it was my first time here in Utah. I was a lonely, wrangly, skinny freshman, playing. And it was the John Beck to Harleen play where we had the lead. We had him. Clock ran out. John Beck's running around the backfield. We only rushed two guys. He throws it across his body, thinking nobody's over there. And somebody pops out and they score a touchdown and win the game. Right? The very next year, we're winning again. We have them in 4th and 18 on their side of the field. Dude freaking throws a Hail Mary pretty much. And the dude's wide open in the cover too. How does that happen? 4th and 18 is called it. And then we beat them in 2008. They were doing the haka dance and they were doing it on People's Field all year. And they wasn't about to come into Rice Eccles Stadium and do that, you know? And so I started a fight right before the game started.
No!
Yeah, that was me. I started a fight right before the game started and that got it crumped. And I just remember every single year, the whole first quarter, you can pretty much call it out. We're fighting. There's penalties. There's all kinds of stuff. That whole first quarter, until the second quarter hits, you're like, oh, crap, we got to win this football game. So every single play is trash talk. So I'm telling you, every moment was intense. And this rivalry is every bit of every rivalry that you know. It's huge. It means everything. And I cannot believe or I love that it's finally back, especially in a conference play here.
Stevenson, how much does playing at Rice Eccles, factor, do you think, into this game, if at all? And how does Utah go about winning this game in your mind when you try to predict how this could possibly fall in their favor?
it's got to be a dogfight. First off, the mentality's got to be, I'm throwing kitchen sink. I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing bowls. I'm getting nasty. I'm talking smack. I'm feeling it. I'm getting confident. You know, when you're back in the high school days and you just ruining your opponent and your opponent's soaking, you just put them in the dirt. That's the mentality Utah needs to have from jump. You know, we got to act like we got the lead before the game starts. And then you got to make sure that nobody can come up with that. You got to try and put 50, 60 points on the board. That needs to be the goal. Defense needs to be causing turnovers, talking smack, scoring points on defense, special teams. Everybody's got to have a nasty attitude, right? Like, I don't care. There's nothing else, right? And that's all that matters is today. And so, man, I what was the other part of your question? Sorry.
Just how much does playing at Rice Eccles do you think factor into this?
Well, put it this way. The guys down south, the guys down south haven't won at Rice Eccles Stadium since 2006. So almost 20 years. So it means a lot. It's a huge, huge home field advantage. This crowd, of course, as I said, the state. So it's going to be tremendous. You know, Utah fans are going to be scattered around the stadium trying to make sure that the guys down south fans don't flood the stadium. We don't want to see any of that blue in our stadium. It's got to be flooded with red, you know, and so it's a huge home field advantage. As I said, they had the last time that they won was 2006 there, and we've had some epic matchups since. And so this is huge, especially for the implications that are on those guys, and they're trying to keep it perfect. They got all the worries on their side. You know, Utah just got to go in there and, hey, protect this house, right? It's Under Armour. It's as simple as that. That's the only statement I would be saying. Ain't nobody going to come into my house and disrespect me or even pull out a win. And that's how I always felt about my home team.
I got a feeling it's a test for you on the sideline during that game for you not to want to run out in the field and play.
You have no idea. I'm looking at Coach Wade every single time, like, just give me a helmet. Come on, man. I know this defense, right? It's the same defense as it is when I played, so I know the play is coming. And from my experience, I'm watching the opponents. I know what they're doing. There's so many times in these last few years I've been on the sidelines, and I'm seeing the opponent. I'm just like, if I was in the game right now, that'd be my TFL right there. That would be my interception. I know exactly what's coming. I can make the adjustments. I can make the blitz. And so, like, I'm just itching, right? And so, one, I love the game of football. And then two, I love the University of Utah. So those two mashed together is just like the perfect harmony for me. And I wish. I'm going to be itching, man. You guys are going to see me on the field. Hopefully I don't get a sideline warning. You know, don't prep the refs about me coming. But I'm juiced. I'm so ready for this game. It's going to be insane.
Well, if you do get a silent warning, I'm going to point to everyone watching the game with like, hey, I know that guy. We were just talking to him the other day. That's awesome. No, hopefully you can control yourself there. But I know it's easy to be negative with this season and to talk about the cryptic stuff and the Cam Rising injury and all the same kind of stuff that you probably talked about 1,000 times. Is there some positives that you're taking away from what you've seen so far? Are there some young guys maybe, or just some things in general stylistically? Like, where are you looking for some positivity right now, and do you find some?
I mean, the positivity for me has to be the defense, right? Aside from not causing what they now call havoc plays, which is sacks, turnovers, they have caused a lot of those. It's out, right? With the positions that they've been put in from our terrible offense, you know, they've held true, man. They've held these high-scoring offenses to 12, 13, very minimal points. We just got to score more. We got to take it upon ourselves and do that, right? If they don't score, we win is the mentality the defense needs to have. And so bright spot has been this defense. Downside of the defense hasn't been consistent on some things as dominant as they could be. They've been great, but they could be better. And so that's kind of like, man, Corrine Reed being out, you wouldn't think that one person affected so much. And so him being out those weeks were huge, especially in this month of October. It was bad. But when he came back, you know, against, I think it was TCU when he came back, TCU or Houston this past weekend, they made huge changes. And so last week the last game, we got Connor O'Toole back as well. So those guys are getting healthy. So expect this defense. This is going to be electric. Jake Retzloff's going to be feeling the pressure I'm telling you that. First, it's a rivalry game. Plus, we're getting healthier on defense. I think we're back to full strength on defense, and that should worry opponents. And so right now, defense, all they got to do is cause turnovers and get points on the defensive side of the ball, make it easier on Isaac Wilson, all those things. And but I'm telling you, this Utah defense on Saturday, watch out. They're tops in the nation in a lot of categories. And with the positions that they've been put in, it's kind of hard to believe, but they've been doing a tremendous job this year.
What has been your impression of BYU's or that team, that team in blues? What has been your impression of what you've seen from them and their undefeated start at this point? What stands out about it to you?
I'm pissed off. Pissed off because it's the exact same team as Utah. And so, if they're doing it, Utah should be doing it. That's what I'm pissed off at. It's just like the formula is there. Kalani, Jay Hill, Aaron Roderick, those are Utah guys. Kalani played for the guys down south, but he learned a lot when he came for Coach Winningham and at the University of Utah, right? I feel like he grew up and matured and understood what he knows now, what he's translating to his team is what he learned at Utah. And so for me, this is going to be Utah versus Utah on Saturday, and who's better, who's got more heart. But the formula is there. And so that's what I'm pissed off at is that Utah's not doing it. Utah, this should be 8-0 versus 8-0 heading into this game, right? Utah's lost 4 in a row, right? The most we've lost by is 6 points. Yeah. It's crazy. So we score 1 touchdown in all those games, and we flip the script, and it's 8-0. And so, so that's the crazy thing, man. But I'm very close to Jay Hill. He's a big-time Utah player when he played here. Very close to Aaron Roderick. Very close to Kalani. Kalani was my linebacker coach here at Utah. So he's amazing dude. So proud of them and understanding that their maturation in their coaching careers has landed to this point, which is exactly where you want to go. And hopefully they can lead to bigger and better things afterwards. But happy for those guys because I know them so well. And just know that the technique and, as I said, the formula is there. What they're doing down there is exactly what Utah should be doing. And so I'm excited to see that what we have or what we do at Utah, it's not broken. Right? It just needs to be implemented and executed. Utah's having a problem with execution. That's all.
Stevenson couldn't think we have anyone better to kind of explain the emotions of this rivalry between the two schools in Utah. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy Saturday as much as you possibly can, and just don't get an unsportsmanlike penalty for jumping into the fray on the field, and be careful.
I'll keep an eye out right there. They got somebody following me on the sideline, so hopefully they keep me all locked up.
That's Stevenson Sylvester with us from Utah Radio, former Ute, and, of course, sideline reporter for them.